like a diamond, you alone. You cut my heart like glass, just like that. Like a lion, uncontrolled. Your mark is on my back, just like that. In it for the big thrill. Yeah, you play games with my mind, always, all of the time. In it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind, always, all of the time, all the time.
Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Here's a little video just to show you my beautiful Ducati 1198. I've done a lot of work on this myself. I've painted it, I've put stripes on it, which if you've watched my old video, my Ducati 1198 project video, you will see everything I've done with this bike. But sadly, I've decided to let it go. I've decided to sell it after 6 years of ownership. The thing is with it, the bike is incredibly powerful and it's incredibly fast. I've never been on anything that can compare to the power and torque of this bike. And I've been on some fast bikes. I've been on some Hayabusas, some ZX12s and beyond that. But there's lots of things I want to do with this bike this year. I intended to do track days, I intended to do a few ride around the UK tours, and I wanted to do some straight line events with the bike because I love to see how fast this can do in a quarter mile. This bike is probably the most fastest bike I've ever been on. I'm quite confident this will destroy a Lamborghini Aventador, so don't mess with one of these if you see one and you've got a Lamborghini Aventador. This bike does not sit well at 30 miles per hour. It's not too bad. I mean, I've put an 18 tooth sprocket on the front, which is massive, and it does help. It does help a lot. But apart from that, we don't want to detune it because it's taking the whole character away from it. You might as well get yourself a smaller bike. But anyway, I'm rambling on. So yeah, it's gonna go. And if you're thinking of buying one of these, what advice would I give to you? Well, if it's your first Ducati, I'd say no. If you're coming from a 600cc bike, I'd say no. But if you like powerful bikes, like to do wheelies a lot, and just like a lot of speed, and you like to guzzle fuel, then it's the bike for you, really. So I'll give you a quick tour around it and show you what I've done with it. Said again, you will see this bike feature one of my earlier videos where I totally stripped the engine and most of the bike itself and repainted it and made it into this beautiful masterpiece. I love painting bikes and cars and things. Can't get enough of it. So the things I've done to it: put rim tape on there, kind of sparkles it up a little bit, you know, nothing too important. I've changed the clutch, so a complete new clutch. I've changed the oil pressure sensor in there. You might not be able to see that. You can see that little silver thread, that's the one. So the reason I changed the oil pressure sensor, because, well, my oil light was coming on. It started to flicker, it wasn't steady, it would flicker on and off, which would indicate a very, very serious problem. But I removed the old pressure sensor. They do go faulty after a while. There was a little bit of oil in the sensor, so if you unplug the wire from it and you shine a light in there, you might find some oil pooled up in the bottom of the sensor. I can't show you because I don't have one. That means that the seal's gone on it, so the oil sensor itself is losing pressure. I got an oil pressure gauge, stuck it on there. It was in the correct tolerances, so put a new sensor on it, never did it again. Happy days. So as you know, I've rebuilt the top end on this bike. I've done the valves, I've done the belts, all by myself. If you know how to work on bikes and you've worked on 4-strokes and done valve shims and valve replacements, anything like that, it's not any different to a motocross bike. Only thing with this, it has 18 valve shims, so you got that to do. Anyway. yeah, the start and stop switch, that's an Aprilia one. I changed that, reason being, I don't know where the original one is. Reason being, because I've got this on here. That is a micro switch which leads to a tether cord which leads to the fans in there. So what I've done with this, I've not butchered the original wiring, I've literally made my own fly lead, which I'd call it. So when you're in traffic and this bike starts heading to 80 degrees and 90 degrees and more, I can just flip this on and you can just watch the temperature drop. When you can leave this fan on, and when it's idling, the temperature doesn't even get over 70 degrees. It's that good, and it works effectively. It really cools the bike, so if you're on a hot day and you're stuck in traffic, I recommend doing this modification. I could actually make some of these leads and sell them. I could. They're not hard to make. So I've painted. I'll give you a closer look at my painting skills. Yes, these are not stickers, they are not decals. I painted these myself. Clear coated over them so you can't feel it there. I think these colours really does complement the pearl white, because I felt that the pearl white on the Ducatis, it's a beautiful colour, but it just looked too plain on the 1198, doesn't it? I've done the front mudguard as well. And I've done, obviously you've seen these stripes on the other video. A bit of dirt there, a bit of flies in there. And down here, again, clear coated over these. I put 3 layers of clear coat on them, then wet sanded it, and then buffed it all to a shine so you can't feel that transaction between the paint and the stripe there. Carbon fibre clutch cover. I have got a clear glass clutch cover which I'm keeping for myself. That's not going with the bike. The exhaust. I drilled out the rivets and ripped out the internals and welded in a straight through pipe. Glass fibre wrapped it, and that makes it sound beautiful. This is a 70mm exhaust, and the bore inside here, what I've put in there is a 45mm perforated pipe. But I did have 70mm. I had 70mm straight through originally. It'd sound good if it were going past you, but when you're riding it, it was just so loud it would rattle my head. I had to put earplugs in, so it was just too loud to ride it. So I ripped these apart again, and I put 45mm bore in there, and it just sounds spot on. What else shall I show you? The seat. I did this seat in Alcantara. It was actually my auntie who made the seat cover. It really looks well. It feels good as well. It's Alcantara on there. Lovely. These clamps are actually the standard clamps that came with it. But what I did made them look quite tricky. What I did, I removed them, flipped them over, and I marked out these holes here. I marked out the holes and I drilled them. I chain drilled all these holes because I don't have a milling machine. So I chain drilled, literally, just like this, drilled all these holes around there, then I boshed it out and filed these all smooth and painted it. I think it looks quite trick. You can buy clamps like this, but they cost a fortune. If I can make something myself, then I'd rather do it myself, to be fair. The screen, as you can see, that's a completely new cover on there. Again, on my video, this cracked. I don't know how it did it. Some say that it's these double bubble screens. If you leave them in the sunlight, it basically magnifies there and heats the screen up, and I think it's the resin that the screen is sealed with. It kind of softens, and when you start riding, it hardens and then causes it to warp and crack. It was just clear like that, no damage on it. I pulled up at a cafe. The bike was stood in the sunshine for about, I'd say, an hour, and then I set off riding and I looked, and I had cracks all over, screen airline fractures. So I repaired it. I got some clear plastic anyway from eBay for around about, I think it was £1.20 a sheet, and I thought if I wreck this, then who cares? I've got to buy a new one anyway, so I'll give it a go. I do like this screen. It does help so you don't have to tuck in as much when you are going like a bat out of hell on it. Sorry to quote Meatloaf there. Yeah, it is a brilliant screen. Is the double bubble screen. See if I can fit down here. So I'll tell you something. This here, the Ducati logo, is hand painted. Hand painted by myself. Well, not all of it. What happened was when I was scuffing this down or sanding this nose cone down to paint the stripes on it, it must have had an extremely small layer of clear coat on there. So I ended up scuffing this logo. I think it was somewhere up here. I got a fine brush and I actually hand painted this in there. And I think I've done a really good job of that. You can barely tell. Let's get closer, see if you can see any little defects in there. Look at that. You can see it just up here though. But no, yeah, no. Good job that. This is my stripe. I love painting stripes. I think everything should have stripes on it. Stripes sell bikes. Around this side, so if there's anything I can see to show you. Ah, yeah. Right, so here, the fan switch, which powers the fan, is this one here. So this cord here, which I made, goes directly to the fan switch. So this is the main power. Obviously, the ECU will let the fans kick in at a certain temperature. I think it's set to something like 110, and I wouldn't want the bike to get that hot and then have the fan kick in. I wouldn't want that at all. So if I want to charge the battery, put it on the trickle charger, I just connect the trickle charger to this one here. But when I'm riding it, or if I fire the bike up and let it idle at all, if I just want to listen to its beautiful sound, show the mates with some beers, I plug it into there, I activate the fan. Any bike I get, I'm going to do this, because I don't like these getting hot. The problem is with them, with the Ducatis, they do get hot, and usually the hottest part of it, obviously, in there, in the centre. They're so compact, and there's not a lot of wind gets in here. So, yeah, keep them cool, and keep them safe. That's what you want to do. What else? I put another chain on, riveted that on there. There's not much around here. There is something I've got to show you. Now, if you want to connect this to your laptop, there's two leads in here. This one, that's the original one. Is that the data analyzer, Ducati data analyzer? This here is a fly lead I've made myself, which runs all the way to the ECU, because if you want to plug this bike in to read any technical data, you have to remove this fairing. But not this one, because I've made this lead, this wireless lead, and it's actually plugged into the ECU wiring. So all you have to do to plug this bike in, do any work on it, any tuning or maintenance, something like that, service resets, check its idle, mixture, anything like that, you get the message. You can just plug it in there and away you go. I've rebuilt the brakes. I put new brake pads in there. Yeah, I put new brake pads in there. There is something. Now, there was a problem with this bike when I rebuilt it. It wasn't charging the battery. The one common problem with them, you might get your 1198, fire it up when it's cold, let it warm up, go for fuel on it, fill it up with fuel, and as soon as you come to firing it up again, it'll probably not start. It might not start, or it might struggle to start, or it might just sound like the battery's dead, or it might not start at all. The reason being that you've probably got, in that case, is a burnt out regulator rectifier. And they do burn out, and I don't know why Ducati kept putting their regulators right near the header pipe on the exhaust, because it just fries them. So what I've done with this one, if you can see it, I've tucked him right under there. So what I did was I cut this out, the plastic on the nose cone, and I think actually there's two screw holes where this actually mounts. It is stable, it's solid. There's two screw holes here, and this just fits perfect right into them. I've done that, and you can't get them of a cooler spot than this at all. And I also upgraded the wiring. So if you just see down there, sorry, it's a bit dark. I upgraded the wiring anyway, which goes to that stator. I'll give it a quick fire up for you. Turn the alarm off. I'm not going to leave it running in here for long because it might choke me to death. Are you ready? Sounds a lot less rattly when you got the clutch pulled in on these. Bye bye.